Luxembourg's finest metal podcast is back. My name is Jill. I'm your host for today, and I'm super stoked to be having two, well, almost friends, I would say, today as a special guest for our special episode. I have the boys Florian and Alex from Hills Like White Lions with me here. And welcome to the show, and thank you very much for joining me in this wild ride, let's say.
Hello from us. It's me, Florian. I'm the singer and the guitarist of Hills Like White Lions. And with me is
Alex. I play bass in the band. Thanks for having us, Jill. We really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it a lot. You've done a lot for us, buying merch, buying CDs, and supporting us big time. So thanks a lot.
I mean, most welcome. I mean, the only thing I can say is thank you guys, first of all, because I think I consider myself very lucky to have found Hills Like White Lions as a band, and also the first record that pretty much struck me in the face with something I have not heard in that particular way before, ever. So, and I mean, I can probably talk for the three of us. We all we like to listen to a very diverse range of music, metal obviously included. And back when you released your first record entitled Hills Like White Lions, that was like, this is different. That was my approach, and I was very a bit confused at first. So and then I thought like, wow, these people, even though you're not under any contract as far as I know, they really deliver. So I mean, thank you guys for releasing these tracks and songs and these emotional rides you are sharing with the world. So really appreciating it. So yeah, but anyway, thank you very much again for being here. And today we are obviously going to talk about the band history first of all. And we, as it's usual in this show, we like to get lost in discussions, which is, I think, the most comfortable way of having a talk about music.
Yeah. And
so I would just throw the question at you guys: who are Hills Like White Lions? For those who don't know.
Okay. We were in bands before, all of us, and actually me and Hannes were in a metalcore band before in our teen years, and we said if this band ever ends, we will definitely do something musically together. And time got by, and we did nothing.
The usual struggle.
And then we went to a lot of concerts, as we normally do, and we got a new friend with us going to concert, which was Alex, sitting right next to me. And we thought about that we should make a band and do something. And time went by, we did nothing, and I think it was at a Leprous concert in Vienna, where we said, so now we start. Next week it begins.
Wow, that's a dedication.
And I wrote the first song for the band.
Just like that, out of the blue, like...
at the beginning we said something like, something ambient or shoegazy, like that. But I couldn't deny the metal, I like
obviously,
the influences. So it was authentic for me to write something like that. And I wrote Float, the ninth song
from the debut.
From the debut album. And that was the first song we wrote together, and the magic happened, and we all felt really good doing this thing, and that was the beginning.
Oh, that's a very, I mean, I'm not a professional musician compared to you guys, or
no.
That's what I'm honest here. So
we know that.
obviously, I play guitar as well, so I know the struggle sometimes to come up with, like, you really want to do something, but you have no clue where to start, or you don't want to neglect your experiences before, like, for your case, metal, or bringing something new. So I really find it quite amazing that you just out of the blue, or over a short period of time, randomly just, okay, let's just do that, and it worked out. So that's a first, I think, that I hear. Mostly it's like obviously the struggle with the bandmates, some come and go, which for your case is luckily not have happened. Hopefully it I hope really that it will not happen in the near future. So, because as you said it earlier, the magic happened, and I think that's at least what I experienced listening to the first record was you compensate each other very well on, and I think it's on both records, but that's like a particular trademark, I think, for Hills Like White Lions in general. So, yeah.
The thing is, we really feel very comfortable around each other, personally, but also musically, because as I said, we went to the same concert over and over.
Yeah.
I think it was Alcest and Leprous, Mastodon,
all great bands, by the way. So yeah.
Well, else Cult of Luna and things like that, Russian Circles, and we said we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And so it's musically really a no-brainer most of the time, because I know when I write a song, they both will like it, and that's
very easy.
Creates room. That creates room for getting creative and also do something. Let's say that is not so mainstream. That's the wrong word, I think.
I think we could agree on that. I mean, it is not mainstream, and that is the good part about it, I think, because it stands out a bit more than, or even way more than most of the bands that you mentioned. So, yeah.
Yeah, the struggle is to keep it in boundaries.
Yeah.
So there are musicians in progressive metal that are getting really freaky about different subgenres, and that's their trademark.
Yeah, that's true.
It's also okay to bring, I don't know, some strange other genre influences in, and that is the big, the challenge, to get a little bit freaky, but not too freaky, to still sound honest and not cheesy or something like that.
Yeah.
And
I think that's important for you guys, because as you said it, progressive music can be very easily confusing with a lot of maybe too much input, and I think that was the thing that made the first record stand out a bit more, because sometimes less is more, I think. And that fits the first record very well.
Yeah.
In terms of is it post rock, is it post metal or progressive post or whatever? But does it really matter in a way? Because it's good as it is, and it's authentic in a way. So but you said like earlier you went to concerts like Alcest or Leprous, whom obviously are great bands. But so influence-wise, I think you three of you were basically on the same level from the beginning, as I understand it. Yeah. So any favorite bands, like really a must listen band that you guys are obviously going back to get maybe inspirations or whatsoever?
That's a little bit tough question, because for my part I really listen to a lot of different kind of music the older I get. So I think stylistic wise, the band that is the nearest to our music we write is, I think, Unios. Maybe you know them.
I've just heard. I also read it on your. You had a post a long while ago.
With the first album, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that from the musical perspective, it's the best comparison to us. Yeah. But influence-wise, I think we have a lot going on. We also have some of this black metal parts, I would say, or post-black metal parts is better.
Yep.
So Death Heaven, and also a little bit of Mole from Denmark. I think also Alcest, Cult of Luna, riff-wise is Cult of Luna a big influence, and sometimes I hear it a little bit too much in my music.
That's an issue when you write music. You tend to, wait, this sounds very similar to something I've heard. So I mean, it's still definitely outstanding in a way. I wouldn't consider Hills Like White Lions being like a copycat in any way. So you have my blessing in that sense.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and also for us, we also listened a lot to Mastodon and Baroness.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
there are
You
also, I
mentioned
think,
Mastodon,
big
yeah.
influences. I don't know, what would you say, Alex?
So, to be honest, I actually come from pretty much a different musical background. So, the previous band I played in was more like a hard rock, stoner rock thing. But I have always appreciated metal music, and as I grew older, I'm 30 by now, I really started digging into the heavier stuff. And so, actually, when we started to do Hills Like White Lions in 2018, basically it was a pretty good fit with Florian and Hannes. Just because it was fitting my musical preference at this point in life pretty well, and so yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Well, congrats first of all to that. I mean, that's a very nice way of saying it, because as you both said it, we are all getting older, and even though that sounds kind of sad, but it still is. So preferences might change, or your musical ear will definitely develop, and will probably be able to listen to other styles of music that you have not listened to before. So, and I think we could all agree on that. That whatever genre you come from, that doesn't mean that you cannot find a middle line where you all are comfortable in, and that's good to know for us, like White Lions in that case. Yeah. So I mean, while we're at it anyway, you said the first song was written pretty much randomly and out of the blue.
Yeah.
So how was it like recording the first record in terms of any struggles? I know 3 people is a good number for a band, I think, personally. And but sometimes I'm guessing you are getting a bit more too close to each other, because everyone wants to bring in their own salt or grain of salt. You know, and were there any difficulties recording the first record, really, and pushing it as much as you did back then?
So I think the first record was easier to record for us, and also to write, because usually it's like me writing the songs on Tux guitar, so it's the Guitar Pro free version where you don't have to pay.
I'm using the same thing, so I get you, man. So.
And I write the song till I'm happy, and then the others come in, and Alex does the bass and puts it in, and Hannes does the drums. And then we give feedback, and really it's like a circular workflow, always going around the topics that we don't really like, and change it up a little bit, play it in rehearsal, and that was pretty much the first album. And recording it was more of the same. It was not really there were no big differences in
input, let's say.
Yeah, in input, So we were all really on the same wavelength.
That's
of course, maybe the most or fourth band member, if you want to call it, or fifth, is Norbert Leitner, which recorded both albums, and he really makes it music. So without him, it wouldn't be the same product. It would also sound really different, because he has a very modern touch to his production, I think.
Yeah. Especially, I would even say, especially on Meander, you can hear it even better. I mean, that's my point of view. So I think really, compared to the first record, Meander, there was way more work flowing in, and way more hours, obviously. That was really,
course,
So
it was, the first album was not dead off. It was hard work for us that time, because we're also production-wise not aren't the biggest. We don't have really knowledge about producing music. So and we did for Meander, we did also pre-production, and we know a little bit more about production now, but also not enough to record something really good. And on Meander, we said we want to do everything a little bit better. and
Much better.
and also more authentic, more natural, playing the drums live, and we really did that, I think. But it was also a lot of more, and it's a lot what's going on. I think on the end product you don't hear all the bells and whistles that are going around because production wise it was a tough time for Norbert, I think, because we had really a lot of ideas we brought in, and so many things are a little bit in the background, but it's okay because you listen to it and maybe on the 10th time you hear the bell in the background, so that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean that would describe, especially now since we are anyway talking about Meander, I think that describes Meander very well. It's a record, like you listen to it once, you will probably not get, I would say, the message. First of all, the message, and obviously the instrumentations and all the different background, because there's a lot of, like, I would even call it a wall of sound, to be fair, because there is quite a lot going on, but you need those 3, 4, 5, or in my case I have stopped counting listens to really get to appreciate the album at its total. And it is, well, I'm going to say it here. I know that's a small entre parenthèses, comme on dit, small break is basically we are already talking about our records of 2023, and I'm just gonna say it. I mean, with Meander is pretty much on top for me personally, because I cannot stop listening to it. Honestly.
That's great.
And everybody who's asked me over the last months, and since I had the pleasure obviously working with you before and ever, I always say, these people, I don't get it why they don't have are under any contract. I don't understand it. Is it a good thing that it will stay authentic in a way? Maybe yes. Do the boys even want to get a contract? Maybe so, who knows? But I feel like Meander is the best example for a sophomore record. Like the second record is usually with every band is like die Krönung, how you say, the jewel that has been put out, and after that you always will compare it to that particular record. And personally, I think that's the case. Just saying.
So yeah, I think we did a pretty good job on taking all the good stuff from the first record. So when we wrote the first record, it was more like, finding ourselves as a band, finding our style, finding together as musicians and stuff. And we were with Meander, we were just trying to take the best of this record and just drive it to the top, actually. So exactly. I think it's more of everything. And although the record as a whole is I think 10 minutes or something shorter, or more than 10 minutes shorter, I really think that it's denser, and that the quality of the music is actually better. So don't get me wrong, I'm pretty happy with the first record. It was a great debut album. But but you see, as a band, as we progress, and we're really looking forward to projects in the future. Yeah,
I really look forward to that as well. Another fun fact, I mean, I'm just going quickly back to the first record. I had a discussion back in the days when you released the first record with a friend of mine, and I showed him the record, especially the song Shaman or Cave, who are, for me, outstanding for the record because it's so different and has this typical slow, heavy, Cult of Lunai, Russian Circle that you said, vibe going on. Yeah, and then there's Florian's voice. And I was like, oh, that's not the voice I would have associated with, but it works very well. And I showed it to a friend of mine, and he was like, that sounds like Pete Steele from Typo Negative. And I was confused, so I just wanted to know your point of view on that. I mean, I don't hear it personally, but maybe you guys have some Typo Negative influences there, who knows?
To be really honest, I never listened to the Typo Negative.
Well, that's I mean,
neither did I.
See, so, that's really like a fun fact I wanted to throw out, because I did not make that approach, and even now I'm still searching for that Typo Negative sound that you guys apparently have. But yeah, some people have weird ears, but anyway. Anyway, let's continue with with Meander in that case. And yeah, I said it. Super great record. I love the whole background, the whole concept that went into it. This whole phrase, meandering around, this wave who does not know where to go, is really unstable and wobbly, and even more, it does not fit the record or the work that went in, because the record, as Alex said, is pretty much more compact and more comfortable to listen to, I think, compared to the first. So what was it then like? Recording that particular album, writing that album, was obviously more work, as we already mentioned. So
yeah, it was written chronologically. So, but it makes sense to write this record chronologically, to have really song 1, song 2, and it goes on. And it was a little bit hard to get from song 1 to 2 and like that, but some parts were easier to write, the others were harder. And yeah, we also cut one song in 2 halves. So song 6 and 7 were originally one long song.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a little bit long, because altogether I think they are around 13 minutes. So it made sense for us to cut it there. And so the what's it called? The transitions between the songs, now I have the word. The transitions between the songs were a little bit tough, but I think we got it pretty right. And yeah, in every song is the main theme of Meander is somewhere hidden.
Yep.
And sometimes I really don't hear it, where the theme is, because sometimes a guitar is playing it, sometimes a synth is playing it, and yeah.
Yeah, I remember we had this discussion before over Instagram when we were writing together, and I was like, somehow Maelstrom has the same structure as Choral. And then later on, well, when the other songs that you released until then were coming out, I was like, hey, wait, this is again very similar to that one. So at that point, I understood there was this red thread that was going through the record as a concept, as a stylistic and obviously musical concept. And but yeah, it is sometimes you get lost in it, which is kind of nice, to be fair. So
yeah. So the theme that's playing is every time the theme from the third song Acedia, but the synths are playing. That's the theme that's packed in every song, hidden somewhere behind in the background. And structure-wise, as you said, 1 and 2 are pretty, not the same structure-wise, but with the album getting longer, there are also more choruses coming in.
Yeah.
So I had it on mind that if a song has choruses and they get more after time or repeated, so the album has to get more choruses. So there are, I think, 3 choruses on Cataract on part 5.
Yeah.
So that's the song with the most choruses, and it's also somehow the climax of the story, I would say. And so we kept in mind to have the whole concept album thing also going on.
It's like when we talk about the story, I know we had the discussion before. The concept of the record, it can be confusing for those who do not get the soul, and I consider myself being one of those who was like, I have no clue what he's talking about, but it sounds amazing. So the whole theme around Meander, so being the moon, as also seen on the artwork, and the waves. Could you just give the listeners a bit more detail on where this concept came from?
So basically, the whole concept of both albums, there is this dream, or this dream state, I would say, the music should be a little bit streamy, and so the realities that are presented here are not, they're sometimes real and sometimes there is something paradox happening. So it should be a little bit, as I said, wobbly or dreamy or cloudy and not 100% logical. And so we are mixing the river, the meander, also with the sea. So we have chorals and that. And all in all, it's just a same or a similar story to the first album, because it's about a man who is trying to save his wife. A little bit like what's it called, from Dante Alighieri, the Divine Comedy, something like that.
Divine Comedy, yeah.
So he's searching for Luna, and he uses a shamanic ritual, which is a hint on album number 1. So shaman, to get in this dream world to save her because she is lying in a coma. And after all, he realizes that he was in the dream world and is now in reality, which is the ending of the album. So that's the story in 2 sentences, I guess.
So who came up with the whole story? What was it? It sounds like it could be from a novel or a book. I'm guessing. I mean, you said Dante's comparison is definitely there, but
I think it all started or goes back to the band name, because we were searching for a band name and Alex said, I think Hills Like White Elephants sounds really cool because of the movie, short story
and also the
movie. And he said, but I think Lions sounds better because it's flowing better. And so we quickly decided, after a while, I guess we all knew that's also a little bit of a tongue twister if you explain it to, to new people. I thought I want to write a concept about this exact sentence or this phrase, Hills Like White Lions. And so I started with the story for album number 1. And with album number 2, I wanted to do something with something meandering, something that's a bigger picture, I guess. And so at first I didn't want to connect it to the first album, but I think it went out, it's played out really nice, because we have Sonnentau and Mondgrau, we have floral and choral, and we have the flowers that are beautiful and the corals that are beautiful. So it's the moon, the sun, it's all
it's like a vicious circle. That I'm guessing, as a writer of lyrics, and also like I would say the brains, if I might say the brains of the band, who is trying to come up with a theme, and you are stuck in the circle. And personally, I know what you mean. Very often I write stuff and I go back to the stuff I'm used to, but I maybe change something, or maybe get back to the same ideas, or maybe the same thematics, or it makes sense that and I think it worked out pretty well for me and in that case.
Thank you.
And I think actually, if I may add some point here,
of course,
I think that after we did the first record and we found together as a band, as I mentioned before, kind of like Meander is just the musical concept from the first record pushed to the top. So we just tried to improve without actually reinventing ourselves, if that makes sense. So now at this point, we already talked about, with the new material, kind of like doing something completely new. And we also added a 4th musician in the band this year. So we always started as a 3-piece band with guitar, vocals, bass and drums. And to be able to perform much more of the songs, the entirety of the song live without relying that much on backing track, we now added a musician on synthesizer and backing vocals.
Oh, okay.
And we really appreciate him as a musician. It works out really great for us, and we're it will be really nice to see which kind of impact this will have on the overall sound of the band in the future.
Sounds promising, to say the least. And I can hear already by Alex's reflection and Florian's smiling in the background that, okay, these guys have already been cooking new things and trying out different things. But let's say, okay, Meander has been out now for a few months. How were the reactions, the feedback so far? Was it, I mean, I'm guessing it's good, but was it as you expected, or was it more different?
For me, the first album was really, from the critics, really good reviewed, which was also a little bit surprising for me.
Okay.
Because, it was a surprise, a big surprise. And now with the second album, of course, it's, I think, much more of a grower, so you need more time to get into it. There are not the singles. You can listen to Cave and get stuck on it on the first album, but if you really want to get Maelstrom also, you have to listen to it, I think, 3 times or so to really be at the center of what's going on. So that was also, I think, the feedback, that it takes a little bit long to get into it, or does it's really dense and there's lots going on. But reviews were good and friends said it's good, so we are good.
I mean,
it's good
you don't ask for much. I mean, if already your close friend, your family is happy with the work that you put in, I think that's a winner already. So all the other stuff is bonus in that case.
Yes, so actually, in my personal opinion, I think you guys will pretty much share the same opinion. The reason why we do music is to have kind of like get out the creativity, and we do it basically for ourselves.
Exactly.
So as long as we're happy with the material, and we're really happy with both albums actually, especially with Meander. As long as we're happy, I think we're satisfied. And as you said before, everything on top is kind of like a bonus. And as Florian mentioned, I think that the second record it's a little bit more difficult to get into it. I think it's quality-wise, it's a step ahead, but it's not as easy accessible, if that makes sense, as the first record maybe. So that's a point, definitely.
Yeah, that's something I read also. Like, okay, I'm not sure if you know the story about back in the days. How did I discover you guys? So basically, there was a review, and as Florian said it, the reviews from the second album, from the first album, was like, kind of like, I have not very often seen a score hitting a 9 out of 10 on metal.de. And you guys had that, and I was a bit, okay, I have never heard of them, first of all. So, and I was intrigued, and at that point I was listening to a lot of like progressive and post stuff. And that's how I came to know the first record, and obviously you guys, and then later on with Meander, the reactions, for example, from metal.de or others, they were like, yeah, it's good, but it is not it's not an easy listen, as both of you said it. And it's really, it's a bit, it can be dragging, but I think the reward listening to it, even though it can be dragging, is more in that sense. And as Alex mentioned, as long as you guys are happy with the result, I mean, that's all that matters anyway. So
I think we just kind of like sacrificed some kind of accessibility of the second record to be able to do this one-track record stuff. So we pretty much did know that it will cost some kind of accessibility of the record, but we just did want to try this out in this project. I don't know at this point if we will do this again. We will definitely work on concept albums in the future, but if we do it that particular kind of way, we're happy that we did, and it turned out to be a great result. So we tried it, we're happy with it, and now we move on.
Exactly. That was what I was going to say right now. Now it's time to move on. Tour with Meander, obviously, as you can, obviously, in Austria and maybe a bit around. Are there any particular smaller tours planned, or even bigger things that you could let us know?
So tours are not planned, unfortunately.
That will come.
Yeah.
That will come. No worries.
We hope so. Yeah. Not right now. We're all pretty busy with jobs and getting the fourth band member in, but we will definitely like to tour sometime. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So if you do it on your own, so yeah, it has to be a team effort, I think, to do this all, to get it together.
Yeah.
So right now we are playing some shows. Some are unannounced yet, but we have one show in Vienna on the 19th.
19th of October in Viper Room Vienna, actually, yes.
Yeah, with Yawning Man,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So,
Yeah, I saw the post.
stoner band.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's actually pretty fun that we're playing a support slot for a band which already existed before all of us were born. So
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah.
that's kind of funny, and I made this kind of like a bold statement saying that those are those moments when you feel young again.
Yep. I know
So,
what
yeah.
you mean. Yeah.
We're really looking forward to playing live again. Yeah, there are some unannounced shows at this point. Yeah, and I think now after the batteries are recharged, after the summer holiday, and after the whole Meander release process, I think there will be new stuff going on. There will be some live shows going on, and yeah, we're looking forward to that.
That's good to know. I'm looking forward, and I will promise you guys. I'm not sure when or how, but we are actually, my wife and I are planning to visit Austria in the next few months. And I told her already, I don't care where we go, if we go Vienna, but I need to make a stopover somewhere where these guys are playing. So we will see each other in flesh. I promise that for sure.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely, definitely. But then, yeah, as you said it, like, and I said it, Austria's metal scene. I'm going to be very, very honest here. It's not the first country that you think of when you think of a big metal scene. And I compare it in some ways to our local scene in Luxembourg. It's pretty underground, as it has always been. But can you see like a movement going on? Is there more? Is there more bands coming up? Is there a movement going on, basically?
So I think from the progressive side, there's not that much going on. Or from the post-metal perspective, I would say there are some bands, and we also have some big bands that are really popular, and we really like, for example, Harakiri for the Sky.
Yep.
And stuff like that. Movement scene-wise, I think there is the most part is like, in my perspective or in my experiences in Vienna with modern metal stuff.
Yep.
But there's also some underground scene with more of a punk vibe, I guess,
Okay.
that also didn't have on the radar yet. Because we went to a festival some weeks ago, and there were like many young bands playing, punk, hard rock, something like that. And there were many people,
Which is good.
also,
I mean,
and also many young people, because we don't have really young fans. So I think there's some.
what do you mean? What do you want to imply with that?
Yeah, when you look at Spotify, most of the people are like 35 that listen to us, and 0% are under 18.
Yeah, is it like, is progressive genre? Now we stepped into this question randomly, but back when we were young, was progressive metal a thing for us? I don't think so.
No.
Right?
No.
Not really. It was
Not
maybe
really,
too
no.
boring at the time. No?
Yeah. Well, I didn't get it at the time. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was different. Not even considered back, at least for me. I did not consider it being metal at all. It was like, oh, why do they sing clean? I want harsh vocals and screams and whatever, right? And it is definitely true. The older you get, the more you can appreciate clean vocals in that sense, or maybe a different approach to music. And yeah, I got into progressive metal. Yeah, when I reached my 30s, it started basically back then. So it makes sense that you don't have sadly enough, no followers under the age of 18. Trust me, for us, it's not different. If I look at the listeners we have, it's all around the same age, mid-30s. So, yeah. But yeah, let's. I would say we have talked quite a lot already. We are 40 minutes in, not bad, boys. And I would wrap up this podcast episode like very soon. I have just one question, and I did not tell you guys in advance what this would be. So, a bit of a surprise there. I started doing that like a while back. I asked several other people whom we have worked with if you would be like put on a deserted island somewhere. What would be the 5 records that you could bring, and only those 5?
Okay.
Difficult. Or maybe not.
I think I need a few minutes for that.
Okay.
I know it's a harsh question, definitely. And out of the blue even more. So.
Yeah. So I think I could start.
Go ahead.
For me, one all-time favorite album is Crack the Sky by Mastodon.
Okay.
I guess. So that would be number 1. It will also really fit Sunbather by Death Heaven.
Okay.
The hype album, I guess, of shoegaze.
Yeah, the one that divides the fans. Is this still? I get it. Yeah.
This album, and it lays here on the table, the debut album by Quellattack.
Oh, okay.
So Quellattack.
Yeah,
I guess it's the title. That would be number 3. I have to look it around in my room if I see another album going on.
The thing is with this question, and I had I like the reflections of the people. They are like, but 5. If you would say like name 50, I still would not be able to name 50 because it's not enough. Music is basically everything to people like us. So, and only 5 is harsh. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's
difficult?
I would also say something by Russian Circles. So I guess it was a good album. There are many good albums, many good songs.
I personally, I was not a big fan of the last record. I prefer the one before. If we're talking about Russian Circles, just saying.
Gnosis, I think, had some very good moments. Yeah, but for me, what was hitting harder was what's the name? Is it Vorel with the guidance? Guidance, I think, is the
could be
guidance with the people walking on the cover.
I think. Just double checking now because I also not entirely sure. But yeah, I just like the fact that Alex has been very absent the last minute. He's very concentrated in his reflection. What will I bring?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot, but I think I came up with 5.
Okay.
So I start now. For me, I think it would be 10,000 Days by Tool. Because Tool was actually my access point to progressive music, I think 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And that record, I think it's a really great one. So yeah, maybe the second one I would choose Pale Communion by Opeth. So I really like all the discography of the band, and Pale Communion pretty much is my favorite album from the post Growl era of the band.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that a lot. I really liked it a lot. I would take Diamond Eyes by Deftones. I think it's one of the best records.
Not White Pony?
I really like White Pony, and I really like the crazy, innovative stuff with it. But I think I listened to it a little bit too much when I was younger. So yeah,
I think it has this Metallica vibe going on. Cause I can't listen to Metallica anymore, even though they're still the greatest band probably out there. But we listen to it way too much, right? That can be
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree on the debut album from Quellattack point. So I totally agree. I think that's one of the best first records ever made.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. That's a way if we go together to the island, we'll have this record twice. I'm sorry for that.
So you can have one more in that case.
Yeah. So I'm thinking
Depends
about.
if you're put on the same spot on that particular island, right? That's also something that you don't know. But any case, the scenario will be very unlikely that something like that would happen. But I just like the fact that giving 5 is ridiculous. You can't. I mean, I also did my list back a while back, and I just named 5. But I'm sure by now they probably changed again, because you change so much your appreciation factor, vibes with obviously your emotions and everything. So if you would ask me now, just a small hint, after listening to Meander, I had trouble not bringing Meander along, just saying. So it will probably change again, even for you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I think for us we are done for today. We had a very nice chat, honestly. I'm pretty pleased that you guys found some time. And thank you, both of you, and the 4 now of you, for participating and being one of these grateful guys who we get each other, and I really appreciate that. So thank you guys for that.
Thank you for having us. It was really, we had a good time, I think, the last hour.
I hope.
I agree.
And we really appreciate that you both guys do this whole thing. It's stuff like that. The comedy podcast is, I think, something very, very important for music scene.
Thank you.
And for connecting, learning, get to know new people, new bands, and yeah, talking about things we really like, and I really appreciate it a lot. So thank you, Jill, for having us, and for all the stuff you guys do.
Thank you guys. In any case, we'll probably hear each other again, I guess. Hopefully
Yeah.
we can do this anytime you guys want. Yeah, by that I would say just a small hint for the listeners out there. So for those who don't know Hills Like White Lions, I highly suggest that you go either to their social media websites, their Bandcamp, whatever, buy their music, listen to it, support, and obviously, as Florian said, support underground bands, because that's a thing that's not been done enough. So, and by that, again, thank you guys, and I hope we hear each other very soon. And yeah, have a great weekend in that sense.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers,
and
guys.
have a nice weekend too. Bye bye.
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 Listen to the